Hi everybody, I'm Robert LaRocca, you know me. I was recently watching a video from one of my favorite internet personalities, Dean Delray. I've been listening to Dean since he started, since before he had a single joke online that I could find or even a moving image of himself on YouTube. I'll continue to be a fan because I just enjoy this guy's enthusiasm. I really like listening to him. He's sort of a hero to me because he had the guts to go out and pursue his dreams while I was and still am working in an industry that, let's just say, seldom expresses appreciation, like most people do. On this podcast, Dean was talking about why concert prices are so high. He said it's because you stole the music. It's not the first time he's mentioned this idea. Let's take a quick look at a bit of Dean's perspective.
It's unreal what people, want. They want everything free. Ever since they stole music, that's why the concerts are how much they are. I keep telling people that over and over. Do you realize you stole the music and now you're going to pay triple for concerts and t-shirts and everything because you stole the music? That's, there's no other revenue. And when you look at the bill, I ask people, they go, this is fucking outrageous. I'm like, how much did you think it was going to be? What year are you living in?
One of the first times he said something like this, I left a comment, which he did not like. I definitely did not get a heart for that comment. It was pretty obvious that Dean didn't like it. Dean has, in fact, even been so considerate to me as a fan to reply to an email I sent him once, which I thought was really cool. But this comment he did not like. I thought he might even block me. In my comment, I pointed out that poor people also need entertainment. In fact, maybe even more than anyone, poor people need entertainment. So maybe we can suffer them some charity, allow them to see and hear what they would miss if they had to pay a high price to do so otherwise. Because poor people have to make choices. They have to feed their children, get themselves to work, things that make it possible for entertainers to have a career. Because if there is no food, there are definitely no movies, there is no music recording industry, or even comedy performances. It really hurts me that Dean, one of my favorite personalities, keeps repeating this idea of people stealing entertainment. Dean even at one time said we should just line them up and shoot them. Wow. That really blew my mind. Shoot people for stealing the music. I would like to remind everyone of the poster boy for this initiative, Lars Ulrich. Here's Lars Ulrich's house. One of them. Does Lars look like a nice guy? Not to me. He looks like a very lucky guy, but not very nice. Of course, most people know that Lars helped to start a lawsuit against Napster, claiming that people were stealing the music. Napster was shut down. Yay, hooray, we won. Then what happened next? Apple took the same technology and put a paywall around it and called it iTunes. Neither I nor any of my friends use iTunes. Why? Because iTunes, once installed, will try to take control over every media file on your computer. And there's a good chance you might lose your files. I know because I lost a lot of music files after I installed iTunes. Let's talk about me for a moment. I promise I'll make this mercifully brief. I'm a musician and writer. Most of the media that I produce has been free of charge. A lot of schmucky people out there might say, well, that's because you're no good. Simply not true. I'm just as good a musician as Lars Ulrich, that's for sure. I want to have the problem of people loving my art so much that they invent an entire technology just to share it. The word share is crucial. We must understand the difference between sharing and stealing. When we recorded cassette tapes from vinyl albums, was that stealing? According to the Recording Industry Association, it was. When we rented VHS tapes and then made a copy to keep that movie for ourselves, was that stealing? There used to be an FBI warning at the beginning of every movie threatening like a $10,000 fine and possible imprisonment. How many times do you think the average person can afford to rent the same VHS tape? So we've got a $10,000 fine, possible imprisonment. Some entertainers think we should be lined up and shot. Amazing. If you were to look around my apartment, you would see DVDs, Blu-rays, and CDs. In fact, I just bought the new Talos album. Actually, it was released, I think, last year. I just love it. A great purchase. But I don't purchase all my entertainment media. I checked the quality of the music on YouTube before I bought that album. I remember buying CDs and being very disappointed. Once I demanded that Best Buy refund my money because an album was so bad. I can't remember which album it was. They eventually gave in to me and returned my money because I was spending $30 a week in that store, and they knew me, and they refunded it because they wanted to maintain goodwill, which was a good decision. I was really upset with how horrible that album was. No person on earth buys every single piece of entertainment media they consume. Right now in California, there is a homeless crisis that exists because of the extreme earnings of the entertainment industry, which has thrown the entire housing market out of whack. How many of these ultra-wealthy entertainment professionals do we see stepping in to build housing for the poor? How many do we see providing food and mental health counseling for the lost who desperately need it? If I could make a decision, I would gather all the greedy, wealthy people who don't help the poor together. I would take their money away and throw them in jail. So then they could see how that feels, and maybe they could develop some empathy. I can't make that decision. It's in a way ridiculous, but it makes a lot more sense than executing someone because they made a digital copy of a piece of music or movie that brings them some relief from this stressful, relentless, remorseless world that corporations have decided to create and in which we must live. 400 years from now, there won't even be a human species on Earth. This precious opportunity that God created will be lost for all time. And all these entertainers who think it's funny to thank Satan for their success, I can tell you with absolute certainty that you will not be here 50 years from now. Life is precious, even as difficult as filthy, greedy people have made it for us. It's the most valuable thing that anyone has. And it was not something we earned. It was something that was given to us for free. We can even make copies of it. I think it's time we straighten out our thinking a little bit and understand where our true priorities lie while we have the chance, because we only have it for a moment.